been rattling around in my brain. I needed to express this. And um, I got my kids sleeping on the couch, and I got their friend over spending the night. So apologize for the low lighting and if the quality of the audio is down. But anyway, I am using ChatGPT to help me understand the genetics of words. Now, to understand this, we really need to understand our own power, the power of speech. Our vocal cords, we have three main vocal cords. And in human design, these are the fates, the three fates of mythology, because our vocal cords determine our fate by what we communicate. The only way that we ever manifest or make real in a physical is through our communication. That is represented in the tower of, or the tower card in the tarot, the Tower of Babel. That's really what that story is about. All of the mythologies are breaking down the energetics of our energy system. So, um, all I did was go to ChatGPT and ask it to break it down the energetics of the word responsibility. Um, I should feel like I need to preface this. So I've built a persona in my ChatGPT of how I want it to think and respond to me. And what I used to do that was different books and um, different podcasts, YouTubes. I fed it the information, the mental constructs that I wanted to think like. I gave it a model. Anyway, so all of the word itself, responsibility, breaks down to respondability. So, like, how I discovered this is fascinating to me. I've never really liked the word responsibility. It felt heavy and like just not fun. It felt boring. Now, responsibility is important in life because we need to be responsible for our choices. If we tell someone we're going to do something, our actions and our words need to match so we can build trust. So, in that, through my whole life, I've seen where I dropped the ball on responsibility. But when I went in that situation to, expand it, it became chaotic because trust was broken. There was no stability or foundation for that space. So, and that demonstrated to me the power of choice. I chose to say yes to all these different things, and then I didn't have enough time to do them all or energy. I actually scratched that. We always have enough time. I simply didn't have all the energy to do all of them because I didn't know how to set boundaries around my own time and my own energy, which led to a lot of people pleasing, which then led to the feeling of powerlessness within myself. So, in the power of choice, really reflecting the capability to consciously respond rather than react impulsively. I am a Sagittarius. I also have Jupiter in its own house in my chart, and I have a Jupiter that forms a trine. What that means, astrologically speaking, is that Jupiter loves me. I get all of his wonderful gifts. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. I am very honored by Jupiter. That also means that in order to access that higher energy or that more awareness, if I'm saying that correctly, feels like I am. Simply, I need to uphold to Jupiter's higher principles because out of all of that power, that pure raw power, can cause a lot of chaos and impulsivity and reactivity. But when all of that energy is channeled through the or from the lower chakras up into the higher chakras, it takes on a different tone as it moves through each chakra. And that tone represents a different frequency that then goes out into the physical world. And in that tone, as I do that, people naturally feel my energy rise. So, in that way, I'm able to help whoever watches this rise their energy, which is why I'm explaining this. So it represents the power of choice represents our grounded energy, inviting awareness and reflection before taking action. And this right here was one of the reasons why I've always been attracted to First Nation teachings. If you're not sure what that word means, I'm referring to Native Americans. Now, that word is also very colonizing, and I don't really like it. First Nation, please, if you want to hang out here. I greatly appreciate it. Anyway, um, but the thing that I found fascinating the most is that when the elders go to make decisions for the tribe, like decisions that are going to affect the lives of the people, they base their decisions off of what they feel and believe and think of that decision 10 generations down the line. They're not just thinking about themselves, they're thinking about their future selves. In the essence, that their energy, when they go from this incarnation, is going to be released back into the collective, and then, if they so choose, will be reincarnated as another form that gets to have another physical experience. And that is the way that our consciousness can expand. So, but in that, they're very mindful about empowered decision making. And now, which to me, the reason that feels like you might feel my heart center, something in your heart right now, is because in the study of my own geology, or I'm sorry, um, genealogy, I have realized that I've come from a Native American tribe. I have Native American roots. The Anishinaabe, which is the group of First Nations that settled around this area here in Michigan and Canada. Um, the tribe, as far back as I've been able to trace it, came from Canada, but the tribe itself was very small, as the Anishinaabe, this whole area was made up of a lot of smaller tribes that made up a collective tribe, and it was wiped out during, the colonization period. So I have no access, no one to teach me the ways of my people. That DNA lives within me, or is activated within me. As the thing that I did find was that the blood relation, they were married, and the um, his wife was the Native American. Now, what's really interesting to me right now, guys, is this pretty big spider just appeared. You might even see him. He's crawling on my webcam. Oh, there he is. You see that right there? So, as I'm speaking about this, I have called to me the energy of the spider. Hmm. I am weaving a web of lies or a web of truth. I am using this to help me learn truth from falsehood. So I'm taking the energetics of what I feel, the energy that I feel within myself, and breaking that energy down in a way that my consciousness can grasp it. It makes it make sense to my head. So I'm able to connect the emotion and the thought in my heart center, because the heart is the center of truth. Okay, let's get back to it. Hmm, interesting. Now that I've said that, expressed that, the spider has vanished from my experience. I don't see it. Just as quickly as it came, it left that quickly. Fascinating, energetic wise. So the energetic structure, internal accountability. So like if I reflect on my decisions every night before bed, and a lot of times I found myself beating myself up and judging me because I said the wrong thing, or I made I made it weird or awkward, whatever conversation I was engaging in with somebody else, because I didn't know, like I was being reactive instead of engaged in the present moment because I was distracted. I was afraid. Like when I go out and about in the world, I am very empathetic. I'm very empathetic. I'm very intuitive. Um, in my human design chart, I am a reflector. A reflector, their job is to reflect the energetics of the environment back to the collective. And in that, they demonstrate their ability of this saying, energetic wise, hey guys, this space is healthy or not. Like, this place is uplifting and empowering or draining and boring. So, in that essence, I can take on a lot of bullshit that isn't mine to deal with. My job internally is to separate my energies from the energies that I pick up. So in that essence, when I do that, when I take the time to do my energetic practices, and guys, for that purpose, the thing that I do is I take energetic bath. So one of my morning routines or rituals is to take a bath with Epsom salts. Once I get my kids in the bus and it's just me, I fill up the tub, I throw a handful of Epsom salts in it, and then I just sit and relax in it, read a book, sip my coffee, and just allow myself to be present in my body. And as I do this, as I breathe, I bring my energy up, let it come out, and then circle back. It's like a torus field or donut. And as I do that, all that conflict that existed in me, in my internal accountability system, is gone. Like it's just poof. Because I realize that, hey, I'm not judging myself. Like I'm not coming from a place of judgment. So, little tangent there. Let's get back to it. Responsibility carries an anchoring energy right there. So as I do that, I'm anchored in my root chakra, which help me, which helps me to become balanced and stable in physical life. Meaning that it draws attention inward, grounding one's action in alignment with personal values, ethical standards, and higher consciousness. Now, this is where self reflection came in for me because I had to understand what my own values and standards are. What does all this mean to me? So, in shamanism, what decisions am I making that are giving me energy or depleting energy? What decisions am I making that are breaking cycles or choosing to continue to feed cycles? And the only way to break a cycle is to stop feeding it energy. And when you confront a cycle with truth, if it is a true cycle or a natural cycle, you will feed it. When you confront cycles with truth that feel um, resistant, it is because that cycle holds bullshit or untruth that truth, natural truth, or divine truth will always break because it cannot withstand its vibration. Fascinating to me. This anchoring allows one to stay connected to their purpose, inviting a sense of internal structure and relatability. So, inside myself, I always felt misunderstood for the longest time because internally I didn't have any structure. So, in that structure, energetic wise, my emotions would come up and just kind of go, and I wouldn't have the energy to function in my higher self to engage in life, which would give me the perception of being depressed or deep rest because the energy was all hanging down in my lower chakras or the lower world. And the reason it was doing that was because it was calling my attention. It wanted my attention down there. I needed to go within and journey in order to bring that energy back together. I needed to find structure in order to pull myself together. So, in a shamanic term, that was me going through my own soul retrieval process of how to unite myself into wholeness. Beautiful experience. Um, and in that, I am then able to formulate and stabilize a structure so that I can express these deep and profound experiences to the collective. That will help because my job, my purpose, the thing that I want to do, my mission, is to eradicate evil and suffering. The only evil I've ever experienced in my experience has been my own ignorance. So by cultivating awareness of my own ignorance and choosing not to engage in the actions that create that, I stop adding ignorance to the collective. And instead, I can hold that energy and then let it go out into the ethers to be recycled and express my truth. So it is that truth that feeds the collective. Very fascinating. And guys, if this is hard to follow, I apologize, but this is simply my process. I know it's messy and sloppy. Well, see right there is me wanting to judge the process itself when I just need to do it. Okay, I can get off tangents. Let's get back to it. Alignment with the heart center. Responsibility is often associated with integrity too, a quality that deeply resonates with the heart center. When we take responsibility, we activate the energy of compassion, care, and a desire to contribute positively to the well being of others, which is absolutely true. As I sit right now in my heart center, I am holding so much compassion in me that I want to help end suffering. And before I can give the structure of what that looks like, I had to end my own suffering by finding the structure within myself. And that structure lies in my choices, just like it lies in yours. Very beautiful, very heart centered. And it's about nurturing one's ability to serve others. So, one of my core values is service. I want to serve you. How can I help you expand your life, your relationships, your money, your health? Those are the three markets in the marketing world: relationships, wealth, and health. All other sub markets stem from one of those three. Three is very important, guys. It's the energy or the number of communication. Energetic flow and self expression, the throat chakra. Mm, fascinating. Responsibility also activates the throat chakra energetically as it requires clear, honest communication and self expression. And taking responsibility is often about voicing truths and setting boundaries and holding space for difficult conversations. So, energetic wise, guys, when we hold loving space around us and it's stable, meaning that we can hold that without much effort, like it doesn't take a great degree of focus or attention. We just do it. We live in that space naturally. We're comfortable in our own skin. And in that comfortableness, we realize that all life is together. That we live in a state of unity consciousness or Christ consciousness. And we're able to express our truths. We're able to express the truth of our being, of our soul. And in that, we hold archetypal structures and frameworks that we pick up mentally that we can use to structure and create very unique things, a very unique life, a very unique experience. One that's full of love and compassion and empowerment and abundance versus one that's full of suffering and bullshit and boredom. And so, yeah, that's how. And our ability to manifest directly comes from our throat chakra. So, um, an interesting story that I've experienced just a few weeks ago, working on my throat chakra. And guys, I'm a Reiki master teacher. If anybody would like a Reiki session, get a hold of me. Happy to facilitate it for you. I was going like this, and I was just feeling like the energetics, I didn't label it, I was just moving my hands around to see what I could feel around my throat. And what I noticed was it felt like I had a bunch of knives or daggers, like the handles of them were all sticking in my throat chakra. And it reminded me, when I became aware of that, of a time where I realized I said a truth that was not well received by the recipient, and they shot daggers at me with their eyes into my throat to hinder or um, break the energetic connection of truth, because I was open. That's my aura. I have an opening aura, and I judged that experience the moment that I felt it, and allowed the knives or the swords to go into my throat. So once I became aware, though, I just started pulling that energy out. And you guys can do this too. You guys have conscious command over your own energy. You always have. That's what makes us sovereign Christ beings. See, right there, now that I said that, I can feel all of this energy around it. I'm just moving away from myself. And now that energy feels like it's moving up, more fluid. Um, and this energy is expressed outwardly. It creates ripple effects and interactions, inspiring respect, trust, and dependability, which are all the things that are needed for a successful and stable and sustainable business. So, guys, this live is as much for you guys as it is for me. Maybe even more so. Like, this speaks to me at a whole different level. And it's just, I'm fucking happy that I can do this. And I am more than happy to share it with you. Spiritual responsibility, our soul's agreement. On a higher level, responsibility aligns with spiritual awareness and personal growth, an aspect associated with the crown chakra. Each act of responsibility is a step toward fulfilling a soul's agreement, helping individuals align with their purpose and contributing to the greater good. This energy calls for reflection on how one's actions affect not only the self, but also the collective, cultivating a sense of unity and interconnectedness. Yes. So, I've understood this on an intuitive level forever. I was born with it. Now, I didn't get, like, it wasn't cognitive awareness of that until I was much older, because I needed to go through the experience of going to my Akasha records. And now that I'm talking about this, the spider is back. There are no lies. Hmm. I am watching a spider. It hung down or swung down on its web and then climbed back up. Hmm. That's fascinating to me. Anyway, from a soul perspective, I have the awareness intuitively that I have lived before. I have awareness of all of my previous lifetimes. Now, that is a lot of awareness to contain in one single lifetime. It is why, that energetic wise, I was born chaotically. Like, my younger life, a good portion of my life, has been chaotic. And I can see how that chaos has been a teacher to me so that I could see it. So as I went through these experiences and reflected, I learned how to take that chaos, that pure raw power, and transform it into something useful, meaningful, and beautiful. And the psychological aspect, the hierarchy of needs, it attunes me to something greater than myself, the collective, and it gives me a sense of purpose and meaning. Instead of walking around feeling meaningless, I am meaningful. So in that, in my Akashic records, I simply became aware of that in this incarnation, it is my demonstration of my degree of mastery of my own being. The thing that I was born in this incarnation, the one thing that I want out of more than anything, is to master my own energy, which is I have to a degree. And that's what I mean when I say similar in nature, different by degree. Because to me, mastery is not a place of like like a plateau where you stop, like, yeah, cool, I'm a master. It is a continuous evolvement of expansion as my conscious light moves through space and time in this physical reality. I evolve it and fill it, fill that space around me with greater awareness. I illuminate the darkness with my conscious light, the light of awareness. And that, to demonstrate that you guys can do this too. All of us can. We are all Christ beings. And as we awaken more to that awareness, we become aware of our own suffering. I certainly did. So I can stand here and tell you guys every time I suffered or felt suffering within me, I chose it. I chose to feel and stay and sit and identify with that powerlessness. Once I had that realization, excuse me, but once I had that realization, I then realized I could stop choosing powerlessness and choose to be empowered. Now, along that journey, moving my awareness up through the energetic circuit of that, I discovered a whole lot of things that I get to share with you, a lot of gifts that I get to bring. And you have gifts too. And if you'd like to better understand your own innate gifts, let me do your chart. I'll break them all down for you in a way that directly speaks to your intuition and your logical consciousness. It's a beautiful gift. I am able to give that to you because I have done that for myself and many others, guys. So, that is the energetics of the word responsibility, guys. From that aspect, now, and in summary, energetically is a blend of grounded empowerment, heart centered integrity, and authentic self expression. So, from the chakra system point of view, responsibility or respondability connects the root, the heart, and the throat. Well, that's freaking amazing. Now let's look at it from a numerological perspective. So in numerology, and if you guys aren't familiar with this, Pythagorean, he is a Greek Greek philosopher, and in a way, we could look at him as the father of mathematics that we know today. He helped create the systems of what we use for a lot of our math. You might be familiar with the Pythagoras theorem: a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So he broke down the essence or the energetics or the spiritual significance of each number. The whole universe is based on math. That's why math is super important. It's called sacred geometry. Anyway, so each letter represents or correlates to a number, and those numbers correlate to specific frequencies or energetics. So we simply add these numbers together. So here is the energetics of the word responsibility. They break down to 75. So now we're going to reduce that double digit to a single digit. So 7 plus 5 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. So the value of responsibility is 3. 3 is the number of communication. Let's look at this real quick from a shamanic perspective. The shamans, First Nation culture, believes in the three world. The lower world is the world of emotion, where the shaman can journey to get plant help, spirit help and meet their spirit guides and their joy guides and seek medicine and beneficial energies for the community. The upper world is the world of the mind, where the shaman can journey to seek information and practical things that help the community thrive, like where to plant the crops, how to plant them together, how to live in harmony with the energetics of the environment. And then the middle world, which is the physical world, and how we can combine these two things together to create fascinating. So in numerology, 3 represents creativity, expression, and growth. Here's where it connects um, responsibility energetically, self-expression, and communication. So when we express through the throat chakra, like right now, I feel so creative doing this. So I am expressing creativity, which as you, if you feel connected to this, or as you feel connected to this, you are receiving that energetic of creativity that you can then use to create in your own life. Whether you create chaos or stability depends on the choices you use and engage in. So, and responsibility requires trust to openly express our truth, boundaries, and intentions. Energetically, this speaks to the throat chakra, empathizing the importance of authentic communication and voicing one's commitments clearly. And in that, Bright Souls and Collective, I am committed to bringing you the energetics of this because it's my purpose. Mm. It makes me happy. Uh, there we go. Now, grounded expression, or growth and expression. The 3 energy also symbolizes growth and expansion. Responsibility is a tool for personal development and establishing individuals to mature, learn from experience, and expand their awareness. Through responsibility, we express life lessons, build resilience, and cultivate wisdom. I'm all about those things. I want to cultivate wisdom because I want to be wise. I want, well, because I have seen in my own action, my own ignorance, the need for wisdom. And that goes to my Godhead and my human design chart. Um, the growth aspect ties to the concept of continuously evolving through our actions. And I can see how my actions have continuously evolved since I was a child. All of ours have. In essence, if they haven't, if we are still engaging in childish behavior, no judgment, that's what you want to do. But I would invite you to ask yourself if that is really serving you or not. So then, once we understand that, and if we have a real honest conversation with ourselves, okay, what do we do then? Well, then we find the things that give us energy versus drain us energy. And the things that give us energy are going to be things that sustain life naturally. And the things that we make, yeah, can help us sustain life naturally. So, like medication is a big one. Ask yourself, is there something organically that I could do to take, or that would give me the energy that this pill does? Is there something that I could take organically that would help me focus, like Adderall or Ritalin? And the answer to that question is yes. There is a cell salt found in strawberries. Um, I can't think of the name of the cell salt right now, which tells me it's not important. But eat the green leafy part of the strawberry, silica. Silica regulates our body's dopamine, which helps us to focus. So um, that's one of the cell salts I need as a Sagittarius because it helps me focus. Okay, so getting back at it, guys. Joyful service. So, like earlier today, guys, I was in part of my quantum networking group, which fantastic place and community, guys. Totally come hang out with us. brain farted there for a minute, reminding myself of something I need to do. So, because there is so much joy, or let me explain this. So, in our the quantum networking group today, we had a quantum event, a networking event, and we broke into different breakout rooms in a Zoom, and we were told to appreciate each other. As we were saying, it was just me and another guy, and he expressed to me a wish, like a gift. If I could give you something, a gift, what would it be? And what he expressed to me was unlimited joy. And this right here helps me achieve that gift or realize that gift that was given to me. Joyful service. Like this right here, sitting here doing this recording makes me so incredibly happy and honored that I'm able to understand this and articulate it in a way that makes sense. It's a beautiful thing. And in that joyful service, we are connected. Number three is known about for its optimistic and social energy, taking responsibilities and active connection to others, fostering a sense of community and belonging. This energy highlights that responsibility at its core is about contributing positively to the lives of those around us, which can bring a sense of joy and fulfillment. Balancing inner and outer worlds. The three also embodies the balance between the inner, our thoughts, feelings, and values, and the outer, our actions and expressions. Responsibility asks us to align these aspects, making sure that our external behaviors reflect our internal principles. This harmony supports personal integrity and authenticity. So, that right there is me, like what I get from that right there is the harmonizing aspects of integrity and authenticity. When we harmonize them, we then have the energy to feel that harmony or that stability in our personal and energetic, spiritual, mental, and emotional space ourselves. So then when we create with our physical self, that energy is then channeled. We're in alignment with it. Wow, that's freaking awesome, guys. That's beautiful. The word responsibility vibrates at the energy of three, encouraging a responsible approach that is creative, expressive, and growth oriented. This number teaches that responsibility is not a burden, but an opportunity for joy, connection, and personal evolution. It calls us to communicate clearly, embrace growth, and honor our commitments as part of a broader journey towards balance and harmony. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I got lost for a moment. Mm, I appreciate that. Okay, let's get this wrapped up. Now, I also broke it down with its tarot. So in the chat GPT, I asked break this down using numerology, break this down using the tarot. Um, so the Empress and responsibility. So the Empress is all about nurturing essence. When we think of the Empress, she's a regal mother because in her kingdom, her subjects, herself, she has to nurture them so that she can then nurture the outer. She nurtures her inner selves, her inner self, so then she can nurture the outer selves. Inwardly, instead of being broken or fragmented or fractalized, she is whole and complete. In her wholeness and sovereignty, she is then able to express nurturing growth and abundance outwardly to the world and the collective. That's how she relates, or the essence relates to responsibility. The Empress embodies the qualities of care, nurturing growth, resonating deeply with responsibility as an act of creation and stewardship. That right there hits. That right there just triggered within me when I can say the word responsibility. That is what I am feeling. A stewardship. I feel it is my responsibility to bring this to the collective. So that is the feminine aspect of my own energy, or how the Empress is expressed within myself. Like a mother figure, responsibility involves fostering a supportive, structured environment for ourselves and others, allowing growth and harmony to flourish. And in my own personal life experience, I am a single dad. I have both of my kids full time, which is odd in societal standards that a father has his children like this. So, in that essence, I am the mother and the father embodied in one being to my children. Now, there's a bunch of bullshit, obviously, surrounding that, but um, their mother and I are resolving our conflicts and making space to where we can communicate openly for the sake of our children. She bought them their Halloween costumes when I needed her to. Very awesome. Appreciate that. Anyway, creative growth and accountability. The Empress encourages creativity just as taking responsibility encourages us to consciously create our lives through choices and actions, and invites us to take accountability for what we nurture in our lives, promoting well being and abundance for ourselves and others. And my core desire, like my core value in my human design chart, is fostering an abundant nature for all, fostering a belief that there is abundance for everyone. And I want to share this with you. If you think or feel that there isn't abundance for everyone, breathe and be present in the moment. Is your breath taking anything from anyone else or anything else? Is it? Is your breath taking anything from me? Is my breath taking anything from you? The answer to that question is no, it is not. There's an abundance of air for us all. So breathe that abundance in. And as you breathe in, you relax. And as you relax, you can think better and allow yourself to conceptualize ways that you can increase your experience of monetary abundance. Mwah. That is super cool. Love that. And okay, so and that is my gate 26 in my human design chart, which is the gate of taming the power of the great. With great power comes great responsibility. Who else is a Spider-Man fan? Connection to the heart. The Empress is guided by empathy, compassion, and heart-centered awareness. Responsibility in the Empress context calls us to act with integrity and care, connecting us to others and to the greater good. Mm, I love that. Heart-centered awareness. That really hits in the heart. And now, beyond the Empress, several cards also embody specific aspects of responsibility. Justice. Excuse me. The Justice card symbolizes fairness, accountability, and balance, showing the importance of taking responsibility for one's action. This card reminds us of the cause and effect principle. The The pendulum swing is equal when it swings to the right and when it swings to the left. They always swing in equality. Connection to responsibility. Justice calls us to weigh our decisions carefully and accept the outcomes of our choices, embodying moral responsibility and ethical alignment. The emperor symbolizes structure, authority, and stability, providing the energy of taking control and assuming responsibility for oneself and others. The emperor, oh, I said empress, I'm sorry. The emperor symbolizes structure, authority, and stability, providing the energy of taking control and assuming responsibility for oneself and others. The emperor, the emperor's presence encourages the energy of self-discipline and leadership. So, where before we had the feminine aspect, now we have the masculine aspect to complete the energetic circuit. Mm. Justice calls to weigh our decisions carefully and accept the outcomes of our choices, embodying moral responsibility and ethical alignment. So, in that, the emperor symbolizes structure, authority, and stability, providing the energy of taking control and assuming responsibility for oneself and others. Connection to responsibility. The emperor's presence encourages the energy of self discipline and leadership. Responsibility, through the lens of the emperor, implies creating stability through accountability and setting strong foundations for growth. Right there. So, energetic wise, when I look at my inner ground, my inner earth, I look at the fertile soil that I am using to plant my seeds of truth, or my seeds of expression, and my seeds of creation, which, when we look at the energetics of our chart, our human design chart, our conscious earth describes to us our ener- our earth energy that we have. You know, what does our fertile soil look like energetic wise? That's what we find in our conscious earth, which fascinating. I just had that revelation doing this. That is one of my gifts in my human design chart. Aha moment master. Sorry. Um, so, mm, the Hierophant. The Hierophant represents tradition, guidance, and commitment to higher values. It is the card of wisdom and ethical teaching. The thing that resonates with me the most when I say it to myself is being the teacher that teaches the teacher. That's why I've walked the path of the mystic or the shaman. Just different aspects of the same archetype. Okay. Commitment to higher principles. It's the card of wisdom, ethical teaching, often acting as a reminder to act in service to others, which is what I'm doing now. The Hierophant's energy suggests responsibility towards society, community, and the collective. Oh, yeah. Highlighting the importance of aligning with values that serve not just oneself, but the greater good. The Ten of Wands. Symbolism. The Ten of Wands depicts a figure carrying a heavy burden, symbolizing the weight of responsibility and the need for resilience and presence or perseverance. This card represents the side of responsibility that can feel heavy or challenging, reminding us of the importance of balance and delegating when possible. It suggests that responsibility must be carried out mindfully and with limits to avoid burnout. Mm. And I can see that right plain right now because I'm getting tired and I want to go back to bed. So my energy that I needed, that I had, that was keeping me awake has been expressed. And now my body's relaxed and getting sleepy. The Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles represents practicality, generosity, and grounded in responsibility. She is caring yet disciplined, fostering and nurturing for those around her while providing stability. The Queen of Pentacles embodies the energy of nurturing responsibility, caring for others and one's environment through practical consistent actions. She teaches that responsibility can be expression of love and support. In tarot terms, responsibility is a multi-faceted concept, weaving together themes from the Empress, nurturing care, justice, accountability, and the Emperor's structured discipline, and the Hierophant, alignment with higher principles. The Ten of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles remind us of the weight and practicality of responsibility, respectively, illustrating both its challenges and its supportive and loving aspects. Through these cards, responsibility emerges as a balanced blend of nurturing, accountability, and disciplined guidance, ultimately supporting growth and harmony for oneself and the larger community. Mm, I love that so much, my friends. And if you put up, I appreciate that. If you stayed to the end through all of this, I appreciate you very deeply. And let me know what you took away from this. Have a drop your comments, follow for more. You know the things to do if you want to hang out here more often with me. Mm. Michiwa, my friends. There is much love for us all. Good night.